graphic nature of this program. Viewer discretion is advised.
You're listening to Odyssey, A Tale from the Road, an audiobook by Christopher Cologne. All rights reserved. Any resemblance to persons living or dead are purely coincidental.
Chapter 29. What's happening? What do you mean by, they have your friends? I asked. She knew who I was, she undoubtedly knew who my friends were. She was watching us, but while watching me, she was distracted, and wasn't keeping track of my bandmates. Did that mean she watched me come up the stairs to the front door of the office? No time contemplate that, my friends were in trouble. From what I heard from the broadcast, of your friends at the buffet, the black one was stealing some hamburgers. And security was called. Corey? Stealing. At first I was sort of just thinking out loud, then I told her there must be some sort of mistake. They all had money. And for Christ's sake, it's a $3.99 buffet, why in the hell would anybody do something as stupid as steal hamburgers? Then I remembered who I was talking about. Corey always seemed to rub people the wrong way and instigate problems. Only I wasn't there to quell the fire. Now the albatross, that was supposed to take me down, was now dragging Jimmy and Dimitri down. There was nothing I could do. The secretary said, "It's too late to do anything now. El Jeef does not tolerate stealing of any kind, even when it's as petty as this. They've already been taken into custody. Our security force may be simple-minded, but they're known for following procedures to the letter. And they are only following El Jeef's policy. Your friends are going to get arrested. The cops are already on the way." I was grasping at straws, and you can't stop this. It's out of my hands. I'm only here in a monitoring position. If our security force beats up on your friends, then I have the authority to intervene. There's nothing I could do for them now. The wheels are already in motion. One of our employees claimed that your friend was stealing. Our employees don't make accusations, like that, lightly. They know the consequences. Now our security guys will hold your friends, until the police arrive. But the cops around here are on the whale's payroll. You know he's looking for them. My friends aren't going to be safe in police custody. Forget about the stealing charge, who's going to protect my friends from the dirty cops? The secretary looked morose. She poked into the microphone like I said there's nothing I could do. I didn't wait to hear the end of the sentence. I bolted out of the waiting room as fast as I could and ran down the stairs. Just like when Zach went on his rampage, my friends getting arrested had attracted a crowd of spectators. I was so disgusted with humanity right now. The phrase "misery loves company" should be changed to "misery loves watching other people's misery." Because that's what these people were doing. They were reveling in my friend's misery. I was hidden in the crowd. I could hear Corey curse and carry on. His voice had reminded me of other times in past, where he wouldn't admit he was wrong. It seemed the more he argued, the more guilty he was. He would only shut up when he knew the argument was completely lost. His combative attitude had convinced me that maybe he was stealing. Fucking knucklehead, he had money. We all had money, that Layla gave us. Why did he steal those burgers? I think he liked chaos. He was addicted to it. This was just another example. None of my bandmates saw me. I was successfully camouflaged as another face in the crowd. The cops were arriving. As I looked at the cops, I felt a chill run down my spine. When the police arrived, they were walking alongside a group of men well dressed in dark suits. It was Arnie's men, entering damned nearly hand in hand with the dirty cops. How fucking bold of them. Arnie's men didn't have to worry about the law. They owned the law. The house always wins. And it cost my friends everything. As the cops took my bandmates into custody from the casino security guards, one more paralyzing jolt ran through my body. I heard the nasal high-pitched voice. It was the voice of the guy that tried to shoot us when we were flipped upside down in the Cadillac. It was the voice Bruce described, the thug, that had killed the federal officers on the botched gun transaction. This is only 3 of them. There's supposed to be 4. They have to be traveling together. The last one has to be around here somewhere. Guys, spread out, find him. He couldn't have gotten far. The shrill voice had cut through all the other background noise of the casino, and was an entity of its own. What really scared me was I don't know if the voice was just talking to the other gangsters, or was he also giving orders to the cops? Or was he also talking to the casino security guards? In front of a crowd nonetheless. He wasn't even trying to remain low-key. It let people know that in Arnie's absence, he was the one in command. I was fucked royally. If the secretary could follow me on camera, then any of the security guards could find me. I had to get out of the casino, right now. I wanted to run. I couldn't. It would draw too much attention to myself. I had been running for so long, I had gotten used to it. I felt like a goddamn track star. I did everything I could do to mask my face from every camera, security guard, and anybody that might have looked like they were under the employ of Arnie Ellis. That meant a lot of looking down at my feet while still trying to navigate myself around this labyrinth. I did my best to avoid bumping into people that would have certainly drawn attention. My kingdom for an exit. The waiting room I just left had been in the heart of the casino, and I had lost all my bearings, twisting and turning to find it. It was highly unlikely I could remember how to backtrack my steps to the main lobby. Right now I would have taken any exit. Even if it was one of those fire alarm doors that sound when you open it. If it got me outside, I might have a chance. The neighborhood might have been filled with gangs and prostitutes, but to them I was worthless. If I got mugged outside, fine, they would take me for the last couple of dollars I had from Layla. I would be penniless, but at least I would be alive. As long as I was trapped in the casino, I was number one on the most wanted list. All the bounty hunters were hot on my trail. I never thought I would have wanted to escape paradise so badly. I saw a sign that read elevator to parking level. They would never expect me there. We came in on foot. Even if anyone connected us with Zach, they would know by now he was sitting somewhere in a getaway car. By this point in the night, Zach was in the meat wagon, being carted back to the coroner's office. I don't think he had any next of kin. He never mentioned a significant other, or kids. I'm sure they'll find sufficient identification him to contact his family members. I don't think that they would be terribly surprised to find out he went down in a hail of gunfire with the police. The kid was a ticking time bomb. We just happened to be there when the timer struck 0. I should be thankful he could have pulled a gun on me like he did that homeless guy at the gas station, or when he went all Columbine on his own hearse. If Zach pointed a gun at me, I would have been forced to take action. I'm glad he didn't. Back to my original train of thought, nobody would be expecting me to be in the parking garage, so it seemed like a good idea. There was an old lady also waiting for the elevator. What was it with old people and casinos? They just love to gamble. Bingo halls, the lottery, casinos, they're always swimming with old people. I guess when you get to a certain point in your life, it's the only way you're going to get your thrills. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll can be dangerous to the elderly, so you have to resort to nickel slots and bingo cards. It took an eternity for the elevator to arrive. I was looking over my shoulder to see if I was being followed. I was pushing the call button over and over, saying, "Come on. Come on." The old lady looked at me and said, "Relax, Sonny. You only have to push the button once. Just 'cause you keep pushing the button, don't mean it gonna come any faster." I snapped back, "Well, it makes me feel better, alright. I didn't mean to." I was stressed out. Before the old lady could respond, I could tell she wanted to. The elevator doors opened. I thanked the heavens that there was no security camera in the elevator. A huge oversight of security for the casino, but a true blessing for me. We both got in and she pushed the only button that would take us to the parking garage level. It was a huge freight-type elevator, which meant it moved slow. That's why it took so long to get to us, and it's going to take long to go the one stop to the garage. The doors took forever to close. The old lady turned and walked towards me. There was plenty of room in this huge elevator, yet she was intentionally invading my personal space. She had a troubled look in her eyes. She was a small woman, and the haunch in her back had made her even smaller. She looked at me right in my eyes. "I've lost everything. I don't know why I keep coming here. Yet I always find myself coming back." Then her sorrowful eyes started to water. "If there's one thing I learned, is that life don't get any easier. You think it will. But it doesn't. Sometimes I just wish I was dead." I had no response. I've never heard anyone, so advanced in years, sound so grim. It took the soul right out of me. I've known several crotchety old people. Only this wasn't an anger at the outside world like those other cantankerous old buzzards. There was pure sadness and despair. I would think to get to that age you would have to somewhat of a sunny disposition. I know your mental state has an effect on your physical being. Depressed people weren't known to live long. Yet this woman had made it, this far. This woman was somebody's grandmother. I couldn't imagine my own grandmother being that gloomy. She said she lost everything. What did she mean by that? Was she just talking about the money she lost gambling? Or was she talking about losing her friends? Or losing her spouse? She did look at that age where it's perfectly natural to bury your mate. Then it struck me. I had lost everything. I had lost my bandmates. I lost my friends. I had lost my brothers. Anything else was just material items. I had nothing to live for. I stood there dumbfounded, from the old lady's comments and my own bleak revelations. The elevator stopped and the doors opened. In front of us was a gray underground structure, with artificial fluorescent lighting, and row upon row of cars. The old lady shuffled out the elevator and made a left. She made one last look at me. "Take care, Sonny. And try to stay out of trouble," were her last words to me. Did she know I was in trouble? There was no logical way. My body language probably told her everything she needed to know. She had life experience, I'm sure she could tell when somebody was in trouble. I didn't want to follow her, and since I had no idea where I was going, I decided to make a right and get as far away from her as possible. That was a future I didn't want. But I did see something I did want to be a part of my future. A huge 18-wheeler truck, with the logo for the Worldwide Wrestling Association plastered on the side of the truck.
Please visit twostrangersonePodcast.net